The following play has a somewhat ceremonial nature and portrays the customary victory of good over evil. What we're about to see is a parody of one of Kabuki's most famous classics, Shibaraku, literally wait. But here the difference is that our main character will be a woman. The first time a version of Onna Shibaraku, the woman Shibaraku, was staged was in 1745. But, though it was seen once or twice after that date, the practice of a female character taking the lead in Shibaraku more or less disappeared from the repertoire. It was not until 1901, when the idea was revived by the actor Nakamura Utaemon V, that it became a popular and often performed kabuki play. Most of the original features of Shibaraku are retained in this woman's version, and, as always, the highlights include the famous speech of self-introduction called the Tsurane, that displays the great eloquence of the main character as she sits on the hanamichi in the midst of the audience. What's normally the final highlight, however, the exit at the end, is given a delightful and amusing twist. The offstage drum and flute pattern called Hayawatari begins, used to create an air of merriment and anticipation as the curtain opens. Once it has done so, a band of brightly attired footmen called yakko will dash in on the hanamichi, brandishing their colorful spears. Speaking from one to the next, we hear, following auspicious kabuki custom, we visit Kobikicho on this happy occasion. With faces reddened with sake, as a happy group we're finely dressed and have followed the gay sounds of watari byoshi music. Displaying manly courage, we have marched all the way to this place. The musical accompaniment is in an old style called ozatsuma, the weighty grandeur of which well suits the atmosphere of this play. The three-string shamisen heard now is essential to all schools of kabuki music and often determines the mood and pace of action. We've begun a solo recitation by the lead singer, who alludes poetically to ancient Chinese history and to the grand palace built by the first Qin emperor in 220 BC. The glory and opulence of the Kangkyu Palace, we hear, excelled even that which lay beyond the clouds. Gazing out from its walls 10,000 leagues, all was a carpet of flowers. Greater even than the sun and moon, the power and authority exhibited here was beyond compare. Offstage, stick drum and nor flute play the motif sagariha, used to create a sense of solemnity within shrine or temple grounds. The wall in front of us divides, and we will see the inner precincts of the Kitano Tenmangu Shrine in Kyoto. Sitting above, shielded by the umbrella, is the evil minister Noriyori. He is a typical evil courtier, Kugeaku, who is trying to usurp the throne. His minions abuse all those who dare to approach so close. On the lower left, however, is a group of loyal courtiers who oppose Noriyori, led by the mild-mannered Yoshitaka, dressed in formal purple robes. Having climbed in rank and power to the very highest, I, Noriyori, am here today to give thanks for my recent good fortune. The actor is Kataoka Gato. The blue lines of Kumadori makeup indicate the character's sinister nature. Here at this shrine, I have put on the golden cap and official robes of state, for I will soon take control of the country. Two of his retainers, the bald priest and the woman wine-bearer, praise their master. Because of his long whiskers, the priest is known as Namazu Bozu, the catfish priest, who goes by the name of Shinsai. The actor is Onoe Shoroku. The woman Wakana also comments on Noriyori's rapid rise to power. All roles in kabuki are played by men, and those actors who specialize in female roles are called onnagata. The onnagata here is Onoe Kikunosuke. The rascals who oppose me I have examined thoroughly and have now placed under arrest. Now, having attained my desires, I am ready to celebrate. All of you, rejoice. The comic guards congratulate their master, saying that their faces are red from drinking so much sake. Despite their fearsome appearance, however, these overweight retainers are in fact cowards known as haradashi, those with protruding stomachs. Having reached such dizzy heights of power, even the trees and grasses bend low before our master. Truly, such unparalleled fortune is cause for congratulations. So say we all. But the captive Yoshitaka bemoans the fall of his house, which has led to these sad circumstances. He is played by Nakamura Kinnosuke. His younger brother adds, "How insolent of you, Lord Noriyori, daring to wear the imperial robes. Your haughty arrogance goes from bad to worse. As for us, we have lost a treasured sword named Kurikara Maru, which we believe to have been stolen by you, Lord Noriyori. The sword should be returned to us, and Lord Noriyori should abandon his plans. If he would only show again a loyal heart, things would be brought to a peaceful conclusion." If Noriyori were to do this now, all would end happily in Kamakura, and all the people would rejoice. What vile lies you do speak! I have no knowledge of this sword that you prattle on about. But leaving all that aside, it would be better for you all if you surrendered to me peacefully and hand over the lovely Princess Kobai for my own pleasure. If you refuse, I will be sure to punish you. How could we think of turning our backs on heaven, Noriyori, to serve so evil a man as you? I am already betrothed and would never lose my innocence to another. As my lady says, the very idea of serving such a tyrant who has deserted the path of true justice is disgusting. My lady must never yield to the likes of you. The catfish priest Shinsai rebukes them. Such obstinacy is certainly an error. You should give up your ideals and bow to the forces of the day. But it looks like they refuse, in which case we had better lop off their heads without further delay to set our master's mind at rest. This actor is Ichikawa Danzo. But Wakana intervenes. To spill blood within these shrine precincts would surely anger the gods. But elder sister Wakana, by siding with the enemy, you show your feminine weakness. The best person to cut off a head is Narita Goro, and one of us should go call for him now. Understood. Our Lord's beloved retainer, Narita Goro, is now instructed post-haste to appear before our Lord. I will humbly obey. Offstage, large drum, stick drum, and shinobue flute strike up the impressive motif Iwato Kagura, often accompanying the entrance of Aragoto-style characters. Making his grand entrance down the Hanamichi, the leader of the Haradashi appears, played by Ichikawa Sadanji. Has Narita Goro come to report for duty? I obey my orders with a face red as the crimson plum blossoms now in full bloom. And according to Kabuki's auspicious custom for the spring, Narita Goro Fusamoto is here, humbly at your service. Those who oppose our Lord are to be beheaded. We must prepare. Cutting off the heads of these rascals who act against our honored Lord will be no trouble at all. Now will we sharpen our trusty blades and then, without delay, perform this easy task. All of you together, go forward. Prepare yourselves for the execution. We humbly obey. Ichikawa Danjuro I, who invented this exaggerated style of acting known as aragoto, is said to have based it on the antics of a popular puppet character much loved by the townspeople of old Edo. Aragoto is actually a shortened form of Aramushagoto, wild warrior style, and the original play Shibaraku, on which this parody is based, is one of the best examples of the technique. It became so popular that it was performed every year in slightly different versions until finding its established form. The aragoto acting style is characterized by enormous exaggeration in action, costume, and speech. Stage assistants are now helping the guards to make their preparations, and, when ready, they will shout the famous kabuki phrase, "Yattoko tocha untoko na," words that actually mean nothing, but which are often heard in aragoto plays to provide an imposing oral accompaniment to physical actions. To accompany the execution, come now, bring me a drink of sake. Wakana should pour. In aragoto plays, the props too are often exaggerated in size. Shinsai respectfully presents a sake cup of impressive proportions. The wind brings misfortune in heaven, and the moon is in eclipse. Mercy is there none for blossoms in a storm, yet to retrieve the lost sword, we fall victim to evil tyranny. There's not one of us, not even the princess herself, who can do a thing to stop this. We are, one and all, quite helpless. Your pretty speeches are to no avail. We will now cut off your heads. The time has come. Prepare to die. From afar, the call of Shibaraku, wait. Just now, we were about to carry out our Lord's orders and behead the prisoners, yet from somewhere a voice stopped us. Like the first call of spring, it cried, Shibaraku, wait. As warriors, one and all, we would die for our Lord. Yet for the first time in ages, I was so frightened that the backs of my legs shivered. And I felt quite unwell. Indeed, the voice rang out loud in my ears, and just as though touched by the chill winter's wind, the back of my neck tingled. There's a cold going round that I'd do best not to catch. That voice just now made me quite forget myself, and all of a sudden my heart thumped violently in my breast. Indeed, indeed. Hearing that call of Shibaraku just now, it even made my bowels turn to water. Yes, you're quite right. It was the first time that I'd heard such a voice. It was more frightening than an earthquake or thunder, as it resounded in my ears. But no one was more frightened than me, Shinsai. It was like shaking with fever, and I still haven't recovered yet. Though this is all in the best Kabuki tradition. Still, we'd do best to find out whose voice that was. Who was it then? Who shouted Shibaraku just now? What do you mean by Shibaraku? The musicians introduced the heroine of our tale, the magnificent Tomoe Gozen. She will enter along the hanamichi, the vast sleeves of her costume supported on struts, decorated with the family crest of the Danjuro line of actors who first performed the original Shibaraku. One of Kabuki's most illustrious Onnagata female role specialists, this is Bando Tamasaburo. As we were about to carry out our Lord's orders and behead our enemies, the cry of Shibaraku rudely interrupted us. Just who does this rascal think she is? Just who are you? What follows is the famous Tsurane, speech of self-introduction. To the northernmost reaches of the land, as to the southernmost tip, in every direction throughout heaven and earth, Kabuki's flower-like reputation roars like thunder. Good fortune does it herald for these third-month farewell performances at the Kabuki-za. Though I fear it ill-suited to one such as myself, still have I come in the borrowed persimmon robes with Mimasu crest of the Ichikawa Danjuro line of actors. With the kind patronage of you all, I received the stiffened white strength paper chikaragami that decorates my hair, and before these plum blossom spears have I come amidst this illustrious group of faces. Fearlessly, brazenly shouting Shibaraku. Though something of a tomboy, why, I am none other than the younger sister of that brave warrior Imai, and my name is Tomoe no Mae. As for these red-faced elder brothers who stand in my way, whichever one cares to challenge me, I'll be more than a match. Like a dragon among clouds, I will lift him up, and from the top of this Kobikicho tower into the sea at Harumi I will hurl him. My words are strong, yet they're like the first call of the nightingale. Here before you, I speak with all humility. How embarrassing. So, it's a female Shibaraku this time. We should all watch out for our nostril hairs. This is a play on the phrase extending one's nostril hairs, which means to be sweet on a woman. Looking closely at this scoundrel who came here calling Shibaraku, why, instead of the usual young brat, unexpectedly, this is just a mischievous girl. She is offensive to this Noriori's sight. Someone had better drag her away. Your orders, my lord, go without saying. In the original Shibaraku, we'd have had a man to contend with. But here, it's only a girl. We'll just bat her away like a shuttlecock. Indeed, that's a good idea. Well, everyone, it's that time again when we must drive away the hero. And according to auspicious custom, Shinsai should do it. The job's fallen to you. So get up and get on with it. If that's the custom, then there's nothing I can do. Though unsuited to the task, I'll still give it a go. We'd all like to see you display your skill.
しかし待てよ
But just a moment, I've suddenly had second thoughts. I really lack the strength for this job, and if I go on, I'll never get back again in one piece. I have a catfish in my chest, but my heart is pounding with fear. He breaks into a nervous song. But then, what a bad voice. Now, isn't there a way of getting out of this? Why, it would be far better for Wakana to try. Come forward at once. Now then, you're both women. You can use your sweet feminine words to persuade the intruder to go. But in front of so distinguished a crowd, as a mere woman, you needn't fear. I myself will teach you how. Don't be such a coward. I myself will be backing you up, so get on with it. Like this. Why, if it isn't elder sister Tamasaburo of the Yamatoya acting house. I have a small request I'd like to make of you. Won't you listen to me? Why, it's little sister Kikunosuke of the Otawaya house. What is it you want? There's only one little thing. It's unwomanly of me to ask it, but... Would you mind very much going back where you came from? Where is that? Through the back curtain. As it's a request from you, ordinarily I'd say yes. Then you'll do it? Yes, I'd like to say. But no, I won't. Even though I beg you, I swear I won't do it. I won't do it, I say. How'd it go? I tried my best, but no luck, I'm afraid. Then there's nothing for it. With the eloquence of Buddha's disciple Furuna, this Shinsai will do the job himself. I say, woman there, go away. And what have we here? A catfish monster? How dare you say that? I, Shinsai, am valiant and fearless as rock. Now I say again, woman, quickly disappear. I will not go. I will not go, I say. His attack turns into a comical song and dance, and Wakana pats his bald head as though it were a bouncing ball. Leave it out. So, now it's our turn to try. Indeed, the roles fall into us. It's established custom, so there's nothing we can do. The four of us together, we'll give it our best. You, woman, leave at once. Even the four of you samurai cannot get rid of me. You can fly back to where you came from yourselves. We're not mountain sparrows after all. What foul abuse to order us back. We're the four personal retainers of Noriyori and are as strong as a tiger in a bamboo grove. At the time of this play's first performance, there was a dancing priest who performed for money in the streets. Unable to do anything about Tomoe, these four break into an imitation of that beggar's dance. Leave it out. It is now the footman's turn. With all 8 of us in a group, surely we cannot fail. Insolent woman. Leave at once. There's a children's kite made in the shape of such yakko footmen. Here Tomoe has no trouble in simply blowing them away. At last, the Haradashi see that they will have to do the job. As was the custom before a battle, each one in turn declares his identity. Now that we are telling you, will you not leave? No need for you men to come all the way down here. For now I will go over to you. Gentlemen, take care not to lose your heads. And to that place over there. I'm coming now. As she moves off, you will hear the minor actors chant the words Arya, Korya, which is meant to add an imposing oral background to her stage presence. In the early days of Kabuki, this chant was made by the audience. Tomoe performs one of the most famous poses in Kabuki, the defiant gennoku mie. Tomoe no mae, how glad we are to see you. Now that I, Tomoe, am here, please feel at ease. And now, the first thing I would like to know is why these people were about to be executed. How unexpected to see so base and vulgar a girl before me. Those hateful villains were intruding on my special day of celebration. For that reason was I going to punish them. But why have you interfered? I am here because of your willfulness. What willfulness is that? Have you not been arrogant and selfish? For you are dressed in the golden cap and white imperial robes of state. Yet who was it that gave you permission to do so? Has this not been your own willfulness? Have you any other excuse? Just who do you think you are? And that is not all. As for the precious sword, Kurikaramaru, that is now lost, which of these red-faced loons has got it now? Well, as for that matter, how should we know? If you men do not know, then I am sure that Noriyori himself must have the answer. So now, though it may be unexpected, if you please, I know the whereabouts of that treasured sword. You attendants there, Mitsumori is surely among you. Bring the precious object that I entrusted to you. Bring it here at once. The young samurai makes his way in, dressed in the clothes of a youngster with his forelock still unshaven. The actor is Kataoka Shinnosuke. The sword Kurikaramaru, given to me to look after. Please inspect it now. When it came into my hands, I thought it unsafe for me to keep it, and so I entrusted the treasured blade to Mitsumori. Yoshitaka, please verify its authenticity. As he inspects it, Yoshitaka places a wad of paper in his mouth to prevent his breath from clouding the metal blade. I am overjoyed to have it safely returned. So Wakana and the young man were enemy agents all along. Mere woman though I am, in truth I am the younger sister of Higuchi no Kanemitsu, and I have been in disguise until today. And what of the little brat there? Though young in years, I am a member of the Kiso household by the name of Tezuka Taro Mitsumori. I too have been working against Noriyori in secret. Does that surprise you? Then all this time, you have been spies. We are overjoyed to have the sword back in our possession, and can now make our excuses to the Lord of Kamakura. With this, our house will surely prosper for eternity. Let us perform the traditional hand clapping to celebrate. Many congratulations. Despite their loss, the stupid retainers want to perform the clapping as well. Stop that, you fools. Yoshitaka and your party should now return home. There are not words enough to thank you. We will leave the rest to you. And now, quickly, from this place at once, we will take our leave. I will be avenged upon you all. If you've anything to say it now. We were going to say nothing. There is not a thing you men can do. You are no match for me. And now the time has come to leave. Saraba, Saraba, farewell, farewell, they sing, as Yoshitaka and his party depart. And so, unequaled in all Japan for her spirit and might, we hear, our heroine remains courageously alone. Men, to the attack! But as the men surround her, Tomoe wields her great sword and dispatches them with ease. Imai's younger sister, Tomoe Gozen. You weak and cowardly insects. Saraba. Farewell. Offstage stick drum and flute play the motif Katashagiri to create a grand and heroic air. The curtain closes to leave Tomoe alone on the Hanamichi. What follows is another famous highlight. How relieved I feel to have performed such an important role without mishap. It's entirely due to your support. Thank you sincerely. Now the role's over, I'll be getting out of this heavy costume in my dressing room. Oh my, I thought it was over, but how heavy this sword is. Will no one help me carry it? Is there no one to assist? Why, if it isn't my fellow actor Nakamura Kichiemon, how good of you to come. I was just going back to the dressing rooms after finishing my role when I tried to lift this sword. It's really so heavy. I'd be grateful if you'd help. I'm much obliged. Excuse me. But hold on there. Where are you going? Through the curtain and back to the dressing room. That's all very well, but surely there's the important Roppo exit you've forgotten. There's still the Roppo? But that's quite beyond me. Forgive me now. You mustn't joke like that. If you don't perform the Roppo, we can't close the curtain. Don't you agree, everyone? Well then, I'll have to give it a try. But as you know the real Shibaraku so well, won't you show me how to do it? Well, when this Kabuki-za opened, I often helped out in the wings. I've seen several famous actors of the past perform Shibaraku, so I'll do my best to copy them now. When the wooden clappers sound, then the exit goes something like this.
りました。はあ、で、やっとだっちゃ、おっとだ、でれつく、やっとだっちゃ、とこな。
Well, I could try it, I suppose. But do please give me a rehearsal first. Hold this then. I'll do the sound effects. Face the agemaku and put your foot out. That's how it goes. If you just take a look, please, I'll give it a go. Just a moment. If you please. Geza musicians too, if you please. I'll just sit myself here and watch. How embarrassing. Forgive me. She's gone off and left the stage prop behind. Whatever can we do? This translation for Onna Shibaraku was written and narrated by Paul Griffith.